So if your first attempt at a research question resulted with questions that began with the words who or where or why, stop. Throw those away. Do Control A and completely delete it, because a research question that starts with those three words just ain't that right kind of vibe. Welcome to the Geek Breakdown. I'm Nicole, aka Natty Geek 78, and here we break down all things education and academic, everything from A to Z, from annotating to adding some zest to life. At the breakdown, we have a simple little motto: take a skill, idea, or struggling concept, and here we're going to break it down so that it will
forever and consistently be broke. Okay.
In this breakdown, I'm going to go over everything concerning a research question. First, we're going to talk about what a research question is. Let's go ahead and define some key terms and concepts about this subject. Next, I'm going to talk about why a research question is so important. I'm going to explain why having a strong research question is really the best foundation you have when you're getting ready to go into writing a research essay project or even a dissertation. I'm also going to talk about the three components of a great research question. And lastly, I'm going to show you my 6-step process that I use when I formulate research questions for my research projects, essays, and dissertations. So, what exactly is a research question? Let's put it simple. A research question is a question that overall guides the purpose of your paper, thesis, or dissertation. A research question is actually going to pinpoint exactly what you want to find out concerning your research topic. Think of your research question like a rudder. Without a proper rudder, a ship is just going to be going to and fro and not have any direction. Now, there are three components or levels of research questions that I always make sure that my research question have. The first level, level 1, a research question must be clear. It must have precise language, no fluff, no BS. Let me repeat that. A research question must be clear, meaning it must have precise, exact language. A research question is not the time for you to be all extra flowery with imagery and other figurative language devices. Research question: clear, precise, no fluff, no BS. Level 2, a research question must carry some weight on it. So it must have some depth. A research question shouldn't just have an easy answer. Where's the best ice at fast food restaurants? That's not an easy answer. Well, actually, it is. It's Zaxby's. But anyway, a research question must carry some weight. It has to be like an iceberg. It has a little bit at the surface, but a whole lot at the bottom. So it's not going to be an easy answer. And level 3, a research question has to be conversational. And when I say conversational, I mean it has to be debatable. It has to be arguable. It has to get somebody saying, huh, that's interesting. Tell me more. Or, that ain't right. What you talking about? So it has to have something that can carry on a conversation, because usually a research question is going to then go to a research paper, to a research dissertation, to a research presentation, and you want to be able to converse about this topic for however many minutes you have. We've broken down what a research question is. Now I want to go over the 6 steps that I generally take when I'm forming a research question. So step 1, identify and narrow down the topic. You always want to start broad. Stick to some of your personal interests related to the topic. So go on to step 2, where I begin to conduct some preliminary research. Here, I'm just looking up some articles, I'm looking up some studies, maybe some books, maybe some videos that help me. Now, here is a all-important geek tip. Wikipedia and ChatGPT can be excellent places to start your initial research. Wait, you said what? Yes, I did say you can use ChatGPT, not to write your research essay or even formulate your research question. I think Wikipedia and ChatGPT are excellent tools that you can use when trying to find some preliminary research areas for your particular topic. Step 3, find your wow and check it out moments. Now, as you are doing your research, you're going to find a lot of trends. You're going to find a lot of statistics. You're going to find a lot of quotes, videos, details. You're going to go into information overload. To avoid that, find these moments within those trends, statistics, facts, and details that that really stand out for you, where you go, wow, interesting. I didn't know that, or even want to tell somebody about it. Those are those intriguing moments that pique your interest. And that, guys, is where the magic happens. That's where you're going to find the beginnings and the birth of your actual research question. And then once you find those wow and check it out moments, you immediately move on to step number 4, where you then begin to ask the questions and find the gaps. Where are those unexplored aspects within your research topic? Where were the questions that after your research you still had? Where were some areas or gaps that you think your research could fill? You want to find those gaps, ask those specific questions. Then I move on to step number 5, where I develop some what and some how questions. Now, I told you if you had research questions that begin with where, why, or who, to throw them out. Why did I tell you to do that? Because those are called closed-ended questions, because they are questions that have an obvious and findable answer. You want to find and develop the what and the how questions. A quality research question must be open-ended, meaning that it should not have an obvious or straightforward answer. Remember one of my 3 components of a research question? It must be conversational. Closed-ended questions just are not conversational. Open-ended questions, however, are most definitely. So you always want to develop at least 2 what questions and at least 2 how questions. And then that lastly leads us to step number 6. Revise and rewrite. So once you develop those first draft what and how questions, now it's time to really pinpoint one question and revise it so that it clearly has all 3 components of a research question, so that it is clear, it has some depth, and lastly, it's conversational. Does it merit something that can be debated, something that can be argued or defended? So those are my 6-step processes. Now we're going to head to my computer and we're going to look at my 6-step process in action. Let's go. So I decided to still focus on the social media topic, but more specifically, social media and its effects on communication. I even now want to go a little bit more narrow, and I really actually want to talk about how social media impacts and affects adolescents and teenagers as far as their communication. So I'm doing preliminary research, and now I've discovered that some wow moments. Social media creates the need to portray a perfect self-image. Teenagers present curated versions of themselves. And platforms like Instagram and TikTok influence how teens define themselves and communicate with others. Those are all some wow moments that I discovered in my preliminary research. Next, I'm looking for the gaps where I can ask questions. Now, in my preliminary research, I found some gaps. For example, how do teens use social media to express themselves? I didn't see answers to that. Are there differences between self-expression online and in real life? Or does social media promote or limit authenticity? Those were all gaps or questions that I still had after I found my wow moments within my research. Lastly, we're going into developing our what and our how questions. So the first one was, how does social media affect the authenticity of a teenager's self-expression? My what question was, what role does social media play in shaping a teenager's ability to express themselves authentically? So now I want to focus on one and revise and rewrite that. So my final research question that I wanted to propose would be, what role does social media play in influencing teenagers' ability to balance authentic self expression with societal expectations? Now, is it clear, concise, no fluff, BS? There is a little bit of fluff, so I would want to kind of revise and work on that, but I definitely think it has some weight. So it does carry that weight that I was been talking about. And lastly, it is most 100% conversational. This is a type of research question that I can debate, that I can argue, that I can defend, that I can definitely speak on for a good considerable amount of time when the opportunity arises. And there you have it. Now, walking through these 6 steps are going to help you write a first class research question. Once you have the research question down, then the next step is to formulate a thesis sentence for that research question. Now, if you need a refresher about thesis statements, go ahead and click on this video right here. If you don't see it, it's okay. It just means I haven't posted it yet, but keep checking. Or better yet, how about you subscribe, and the moment I upload it, you can be the first person to watch it. Also, be sure to like and comment. And even better, if you want help with your research question, go ahead and put in the comment box RQ911, and I'll send you a link where I can give you some feedback on your research question. Until then, that's all I got, and we can consider developing research questions consistently and forever broke. See you next time on the Geek Breakdown.